Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We'll make a start, please, if you can take a seat at the back room as far as possible. So good morning. My name is Mike Woodcock, and I'm here to moderate today's press conference. Welcome to the Founding Partners Press Conference for the 2024 Latin America Amateur Championship. I'll begin this morning by introducing our panel. To my immediate right is Mr. Fred Ridley, Chairman of the Masters Tournament. In the center is Mr. Martin Slumbers, CEO of the R&A. On the far side is Mr. Mike Whan, CEO of the USGA. We'll have some time for questions shortly, but we'll begin with some opening remarks from Mr. Slumbers and an important announcement he has to make. Martin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Mike. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2024 Latin America Amateur Championship. We very much appreciate you joining us today and recognize how much the coverage you provide contributes to the success of this championship. We at the R&A are very fortunate to have two of the most respected golfing organizations in the world, the USGA and the Masters Tournament, as our partners in developing this great championship. Since it was first played in 2015, the Latin American Amateur has grown into one of the world's premier amateur events. This is the 9th staging of the championship, and it is with great excitement that we welcome the region's top men's amateurs to compete for the title of the Latin American Amateur Champion, and frankly, the life-changing opportunities it brings. This week, 108 players representing 28 different countries and territories will be competing here at the world-class Santa Maria Golf Club. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we cannot wait to watch the action unfold over the next 4 days. Just as significant as the play on the course is the legacy that this championship and these players leave for the next generation of golfers. Our collective goal as founding partners is to help develop the game and encourage greater participation throughout the region. And as we sit here today, we're confident that the future of the sport has never been stronger in Latin America. The LAAC is played at fantastic venues, and Santa Maria Golf Club is no exception. It provides a strong test of golf and really is a beautiful course. I would very much like to thank the club for their unstinting efforts in helping us stage the championship, and the Panama Golf Association for their invaluable support in bringing the championship to Panama for the second time. Finally, it is with great pleasure that I would like to announce the host of the 2025 Latin America Amateur Championship. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of the event, we will be taking the championship back to Pilar Golf in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Pilar Golf hosted the inaugural Latin America Amateur back in 2015, and it is entirely fitting that we return there to mark the historic milestone for the championship. We have no doubt that Mr. Mauro Misuraca, the president and owner of Pilar Golf, who is with us today, and the entire Pilar Golf team will help us to deliver a memorable championship next year. I hope you all have a great week, and thank you again for all that you do in telling the story of the LAAC. I'll now hand back over to Mike so we can take some questions.
Thank you, Martin. If I can ask you to raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. Fernando, we'll begin with you.
Yes. Okay. The question is for Mr. Slumbers. With the recent news of you stepping down from your role, if you could reflect on the LAAC, the Latin America Amateur Championship, as part of your legacy since you've been here since the beginning.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this will be my last LAAC. I've been fortunate to come to every one except the first one. I hadn't joined the R&A when the first one happened. I'm someone who very much wants to look forward and not back. And I think for the three of us, what has this been about? This is all about creating opportunities and inspiring the next generation. I think that's why we do it, and I think my colleagues here would say the same thing. And as I look at the field that we have this week, the top of the field is getting better, but more importantly, the bottom half of the field is getting better. And someone said to me yesterday about how important for the decent golfers in the region this championship is, and how it's the center of what they aim to play in and aspire to achieve. And I'm confident that that will continue to grow. I think the players will get better and better. And you know, I believe in the golf world being, especially the amateur world, being a global sport. And I'm really excited for the future, and I wish everyone, all the players, the very best this week. And I look forward to watching one of them tee it up at the Open and watching on TV with the US Open and the Masters as well.
Okay, next question, please. Martin?
Hello, yeah. My name is Martin, I'm from TYC, Argentina. My question is for the Chairman Ridley. Will Angel Cabrera play on the Master Tournament 2024?
Thank you for that question. Angel certainly is one of our great champions. As we all know, he has been unable to participate in the Masters the last couple of years due to legal issues. Presently we have been in constant contact with Angel's representatives. He presently is not able to enter the United States. He doesn't have a visa. And I know that process is being worked through, and we certainly wish him the best of luck with that, and we'll definitely welcome him back if he's able to straighten out those legal issues.
Thank you.
Next question, Felix, the far side of the room, please.
Hi, Felix Olivo from Dominican Republic Medios Fiebre de Golf. This is for Mr. Whan. Mexico's Omar Morales hit the opening tee shot at the US Open last year, and Jose Islas reached the quarterfinals of the US Amateur. Explain your feelings, and can you speak about the growth of golf in the region?
I apologize. Can you give me that one more time?
The question.
Yes.
Okay. Mexico's Omar Morales hit the opening tee shot at the US Open last year, and Jose Islas reached the quarterfinals finals and the US Amateur. Can you speak about the growth of the game in the region?
Yeah, not just Mexico, but I would just say the growth of the game globally is one of the strengths of the game. Martin and I have talked a lot about what's happened to this game in the last 5 years. In America, there's 45 million people playing the game, and that's 33% more than just 4 years ago. And we're seeing that all around the world. You know, Martin now talks about over 100 million people playing the game around the world. So it's exciting for us because this, I've said many times, the great thing about the game of golf is it's borderless. The golf ball doesn't care where you came from, what you look like, what your financial status was. It's whether or not you can get the ball in the hole. And we have an incredible partner in Mexico. And we're really excited because it's one thing to have a partner who's there for the good of the game. It's another one to have people that are just as passionate as the Federation is in Mexico. And so, yeah, we're excited when we can start a US Open that way. But I think if you're excited about where Mexico is today, you're going to be a lot more excited about where Mexico is going to be in the next decade or two, because the investment, the commitment, and the passion from that federation and us working together, I really think we're the tip of the iceberg, not the base of the iceberg.
I'll take the next question from the far left here, John.
Tuckler from ESPN. Mr. Ridley, I wanted to ask you about the growth of kids going to school. I've been part of all the Latin American amateurs, and maybe in Pilar 9 years ago, not all of them saw that you had to go to college and get a degree, and that was a way to get it done. So I would like you to say what it means to get all these kids to know, hay que ir a la escuela, you got to go to school if you want to go up in your career, even as a professional golfer.
Well, thanks, Sean. And by the way, it was good to see you in my hometown last week at the football.
Go Baker Mayfield.
That's right. That's right. We'll see what happens. Well, you know, it's been amazing to see the number of players who are now playing golf in the United States in colleges, and it grows every year. I think it's last year. I think we had maybe 30 or 40% of the field who was playing college golf, so I think that what's happened is that the quality, as Martin mentioned, the quality of play in this championship and in the region in general has improved so much during the last decade I think that that the universities are taking notice, and I think that the young people here realize that there are great opportunities in them following that path. So we're very pleased about that, and we're seeing more and more. We've had a number of players playing the Masters that have played college golf and come through the Latin American Amateurs. So it's been a great feeder to get players into the U.S.
Okay, next question, Whan, please.
Couple of questions, if I may. So the first one is, every year we talk about the local advantage, like the locals knowing the course, but it looks like every time when the USGA comes and does the intervention, that advantage is gone, no? So I was wondering, what is the approach of the USGA to prepare for these courses? Is it similar to US Amateur or US Open? What are the main features? No?
Well, I think we'd consider this championship no different than any championship. And the good news is we do this in partnership with the RNA and the Masters. But we try to set up a golf course to define who's the best golfer on the turf that week. I hope there's some local advantage, but at the same time, sometimes local advantage can be offset by local anxiety. I've heard players say at U.S. Opens, I'm not sure if I love 30 family members standing next to me on the first tee, or if that works the opposite way. But that's really not up for us to decide. We want to create a championship that makes you think over every shot. Hopefully, makes you get every club in the bag dirty. And when the round is over, you're tired, not just from the walk or the heat, but because you really had to think your way around the golf course. And what's exciting for us is whoever walks out of here on Sunday and is lifting this up in this room and talking to you, they will have known they've played a great championship among great competitors. And as a result of that week, they're about to get some incredible benefits, and we're going to put them on an even greater spotlight over the course of 2024.
Okay. And a second one, if I may, what would a 23-year-old or young Fred Ridley, who just won the U.S. Amateur and is getting ready to play the Open, the Masters, think about the Latin American Championship, if you can go back in time, no? Yeah.
I'm not sure I understood the question.
So what would a young Fred Ridley, who just won the U.S. Amateur, no, in 1976, and he's getting ready like these guys these players to play the Masters and all that, will think about the Latin American Amateur Championship? Yeah.
Well, I mean, in those years, the criteria were a little bit different, but if your question is, what did I think about the opportunity to play in major championships, it certainly motivated me, and I think when we started this tournament in Latin America, we were hoping that the prize, in addition to the trophy of playing in the Masters tournament as well as now the Open Championship and the U.S. Open, was a motivating factor as well. And so, I would have certainly back in those days welcomed a player from Latin America. We weren't quite there, but we're just happy that the last 10 years has shown so much growth in the game here, and that the great players in this region now have an opportunity to actually play on the world's greatest stages and in 3 of golf's 4 majors.
By the way, we still think of you as the young Fred Ridley. So
I forgot who that person was. But
Next question in the front, please.
Juancho Villaverde for Panama Sports Channel. Any of you, how you feel the growth? You already talked about the region, but let's talk about Panama. This is the second time Panama hosts the Latin American Amateur Championship, and how you guys are feeling the growth of the game here in Panama, not only as the players' development, but also in infrastructure in general.
I think it's a very interesting question that's actually extremely difficult to answer specifically, but I'll answer it in general terms. When I came here in 2017, I didn't know of any golf in Panama. And that was one of the big shocks to me when I came here, of the courses we played the championship on and the courses we all played as founding partners. And it hit me that what we're trying to do is to reach countries that the rest of the world doesn't know about, and show actually They love golf. They have great golf. It's a lovely city to be in. And that was my abiding memory as I got on the aeroplane and left. And so when I came out here this time, I thought, well, it's going to be the same as it was in 2017. But it's changed again. And I see more people knowledgeable about golf. I hear more conversations going on in the last 48 hours about the game of golf globally and people in the game than I heard in 2017. And you work with the three of us, you realize we're all golf nerds. We can sit and talk about golf all day long. And it's just a huge pleasure to hear that here. And I think that's a little bit about how society's changed. I think it's a little bit about how golf is more popular around the world. But I also think that us bringing the LAAC here in 2017 moved the bar up a little bit and the expectation. And to the previous question, we were very fortunate being brought up in the UK or the US. And we had opportunities to play in championships, and some went on and won one of the greatest championships in amateur golf. But the ability to able to dream, you have to have the opportunity. And I think what the LAAC has done is given countries and the region here the ability to have the opportunity to dream that we were all brought up with. And I think that's fantastic.
Okay, next question is the right-hand side here, please.
I'm Carlos Velez from Golf Sport International. I hear, this is going to be your last year as CEO of the era. What is your biggest or greatest achievement you have in your administration?
I've got a whole year to go yet, so I've got, as someone said to me the other day, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the next 12 months, and probably will. I think irrespective of whether I was stepping down or not, I'd answer the question exactly the same way. I'm passionate about more people playing golf and it being a game for everybody. And I think the growth, not just the growth of the game away from the traditional 9-hole and 18-hole golf has accelerated in the last 10 years, but the number of women and girls playing golf has exponentially accelerated. And I'm very pleased to see that, and will continue to push that for forever. And I think the second thing is to see the game be global. I was a banker. I was used to living in a global world, but golf was a little bit insular. And I think what we've seen in the last decade, maybe the last 15 years, is it become global. And I think the game is better for it.
Okay, back to John on the left-hand side.
Chairman, really, I have one last question. Right now, we're living in a time that it's very easy to say, I want to grow the game of golf. And I heard you last night telling these participants about never forgetting who got you there. Can you just say that message again? Because I think it's very important for the time that golf is living.
Well, first, thank you for that question, because I think it's very important. As I mentioned last night, we are living in a time of great uncertainty in the game. I'm not sure where all of it's going to end up, but I do think that there's sort of one common element that has been a part of this great game, certainly in my life and before that, and that is that there have been many great players, many great people who have been involved in golf administration, people in the media that tell the story of golf. And the common theme there is that we all want to leave, just as Martin Slumbers wants to leave his position with the game better off than when he started. So, and I think that's really a common theme of all great institutions. I mentioned that at the Masters this year, that we hope that we can leave an institution better than we found it. That's really the secret to legacies and longevity. And so today there's a lot of focus on the economic aspects of golf, but I think what really makes it the great game that it is the passion that people have for it, is the value system that's embodied in the game. It's the fact that we all should want to give back And by giving back, we make available opportunities that we all had. There were people that came before us that gave back that I would have never been able to pick up a golf club if you know, there weren't people in the local areas and where I grew up who volunteered just for the love of the game, just to help people like me. So I feel that obligation myself to do the same. And the point I was trying to make to these young men last night is if they will do that, then that is really going to determine the success of golf in this region. And I just hope they'll think about that, and whether they pursue a professional career or remain amateurs, play with their friends at their club or course, or volunteer, just do something to give back to the game, and that will ensure its long-term success.
And I 100% agree with that, and I was so pleased to hear Fred talk about that last night. I'm a great believer in the game being about integrity and about values. That's what makes golf good. And I think the point that you're making also, Fred, is that, you know, we're all privileged to stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. And it's our job, as you say, to never forget that.
Well, with that, we'll draw things to a close. Thank you to our panel this morning, and thank you to the media for being with us this week. Thank you, and have a great week.
Thank you very much.